All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Sports Yak podcast. We're recording this on Saturday, just a couple of days after the draft. Let us collect our thoughts and evaluate what the Magic did and you know what the future looks like for this franchise. But we got Omar back on. How you doing, man?
Thanks for having me again, bro. I'm doing good.
Yeah, I mean, last time we recorded, I think with Tim. I think that was a couple of weeks ago, maybe after the lottery. And who'd you like at that point? You liked Paolo, actually, I think, right?
I was vouching for Paolo at that point. I don't remember what I was exactly then. I think I was Paolo, Jabari, Chet in that order. That's what I was going for. I changed it around a lot like in the process, even like right up till the pick. But then when we got Paolo, I got hyped again. I was excited.
Yeah, I mean, I think we both expected, like everybody expected them to take Jabari until like 30 minutes before, like an hour before.
Yeah.
Woj started tweeting that, oh, Paolo's like, getting, in the front runner for the race.
No, yeah, yeah. Basically, yeah. Throughout the whole draft process, or like the past couple months, it's been everyone's been saying Jabari, Jabari. They've been like posting like that league executives were all saying that Magic are likely to take Jabari, which like I know the Magic front office doesn't leak anything, so like but like it was still playing mind games with me. I'm like, oh, maybe they do have some intel on it, and I was thinking like Jabari, long wingspan, good defender. I'm like, he's someone the Magic like, but then they surprised everybody pretty much.
Yeah, they surprised everybody. They surprised even like the gambling odds and everything that was like fluctuating throughout the whole week for like
Oh yeah,
who's gonna pick who. But they kind of tricked everybody, and they kind of, I think Houston wanted Paolo, but we got Paolo Banchero.
yeah, I'm hyped. I've been seeing a lot of Houston fans actually. They've been talking trash about Paolo now. I know they all wanted him, but then they get Jabari, and then they're all talking trash now. Like they're not happy with the pick. I don't know.
If they had gotten Paolo, they would have been talking trash about Jabari. It's just like,
Yeah,
and then
vice versa.
OKC is just like, yeah, we'll take Chet.
Yeah, OKC is the only one that's like happy, because they probably knew that they were getting Chet, and that's what they wanted, and that it worked out well for them. I'm excited to see Chet on the Thunder.
Yeah. But probably the most surprising part was that he never came to Orlando for like a workout. Did you saw that?
Yeah, so that threw me off when I read that I think the day before the draft that someone leaked it that he was reported not to have met with the Magic or worked out with them, and like that kind of I wasn't like, yeah, to me I was like, okay, we're probably not going to draft him at that point, like if we don't even want to work him out, then they're not considering him. But then bam, we drafted him, right? All of a sudden, number one, and I was hyped. But like I don't, my thought process on it is that I think I don't know exactly obviously what happened, but I feel like maybe they had him number one on their board the whole time, and they just worked out the other players to see if they could like have an edge over him maybe, and they're like, and they didn't work him out just because like they already knew he was going to be the number one, unless someone like really wowed him, I guess, like Chet or Ivy or Jabari, yeah.
Yeah, even like Keegan. I think they brought in Keegan Murray for a workout.
Keegan Murray. Yeah, I think they were. But it seems like they were high on Keegan Murray because like we had the number one pick and they're still working them out.
Yeah, it is kind of weird when you have the number one and you still like, I guess like if in your theory, like if they were already high on Paolo based on, what they saw in games and, you know, I'm sure like the GM and everybody, like they went to, a couple of his games at Duke or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, it's still surprising to see that, like, especially when you have the number one pick, like you just take the best guy that you think is
Yeah,
gonna have the best career, but they kind of like played chess with themselves.
yeah. I really had like was second guessing myself because like I mean Jabari, I think he's gonna be a great player, but he doesn't seem like he's gonna be like he's supposed to be that number one guy. Number one pick. You want someone who's probably gonna run our offense and like probably have the ball in his hands. But Jabari more not a catch and shooter, but like he kind of works ISOs, maybe a couple dribble pull ups. He does not much of a playmaker. So like I was trying to talk myself into taking him. I'm like he's because like his fit with our team would probably be great. We already have so many ball handlers and good passes on our team. So like it would have worked out, but then he's still not. I don't think he's worthy of the number one pick. Because like you gotta go best player available at that point.
Yeah, that's fair. I think he fits better also with like Jalen Green and like
Mm.
they could form a nice duo over there. But I mean, you seem to like Paolo from like, last couple months. I know you were telling me like, Paolo's my
Yeah,
number one guy. Like, what do you think is his best like skill, or what do you think like stood out the most to you?
I
Because
think it's
obviously
gonna.
everybody like sees it different.
Yeah, because like he's probably the most well-rounded out of the three prospects. The only thing like I would say he's really not lacking, but compared to the other two prospects, is defense. But I think his biggest skill is going to be, I think, his handling and his playmaking at his size, because he's measured at what, 6'10", I think, without shoes. So with shoes, probably 6'11", 6'11 and a half. Like
And he's like
he's a big
250
guy.
or something like that.
250. Like he's already got the NBA ready body, to handle the physicality of the NBA. But I think it's gonna be. I think play besides his shot creation, because I think it's gonna be his playmaking on the team. Because like it's gonna be interesting to watch this. Because like we already have Franz, who's like 6'9", a good also ball handler and playmaker, right? So it's gonna be interesting. I don't think there's many teams, if at all, in the NBA that have two like starting forwards who are 6'9" and taller, who could play make and ball handle at the same time. That's gonna be something to see.
Yeah, closest thing is maybe like, I guess, Boston, and maybe the Lakers with
Uh,
like LeBron and Davis, but that's like
you
obviously
got
good company.
yeah, that is Boston. Boston doesn't. I mean, what, Tatum's maybe 6'8", 6'9",
Yeah.
and then what? And then I think
They're probably a little bit shorter, but yeah, it's the
a little
same like type
shorter.
of
So that's the
concept.
thing. I think the size of us like is gonna, like with that kind of like ability is gonna be like nice. There's, I guess, you can say the Raptors, Siakam and Scotty Barnes. Like that's
Yeah.
another like ball handling, passing big men. So I think like for the Orlando Magic next season, I think our ball movement's gonna be like insane. Like it's gonna. I'm not saying, I'm not trying to compare to the Warriors exactly, but you know how their system is, how they move the ball around a lot. I think that's like our team is gonna be a lot of ball movement, a lot of ISOs, a lot of cutting, passing, and just setting up shots.
Yeah, there seems to be like a lot of like, unselfish guys like Fultz, Suggs, Wagner,
So,
Wendell Carter. Like they all pretty much play
mm,
within the offense. Like none of them are really like ISO heavy guys,
yeah, and then
except
we
for
added
maybe Cole.
Paolo.
Yeah.
Cole, yeah, Cole. I'm hoping, if everything pans out right, I kind of want our roster or our starting lineup to be like Fultz, and then Suggs. It's only gonna work with Suggs if he improves his shot coming into the second year. Otherwise, you don't want your front court having two guys who aren't like the best shooters. So I think Fultz, Suggs, Franz, Paolo, Wendell is gonna be like a really like deadly lineup. A
Yeah. I
lot
mean
of
that.
ball movement.
Yeah. What's it called? Like, yeah, with especially with Franz, like I could see them running pick and rolls with Franz and Paolo, even like interchangeable. Like, sometimes Franz has the
Mm-hmm.
ball, Paolo has the pick, or sometimes Paolo has the ball, Franz has the pick. I could see them working together like that, which, like we said, you don't see barely ever from any like NBA team from that size
Yeah,
of guy.
yeah, it's gonna be interesting. That's why I'm kind of excited to see how that's gonna work out this coming season. Because Franz towards the end of the year was kind of that guy who was running a lot of our plays for us. Running the pick and roll as the ball handler. And so having like two guys who are going to be able to do that of that size is going to be, I feel like it's going to be like a matchup nightmare probably for other teams. They're going to have to go big. So if they go big, like, do they have guys who can like move as fluidly as Franz and Paolo can? That's a big thing about Paolo that I'm liking. He's 6'10", 250, but he doesn't really move like it. He moves a lot like more of like a small forward type kind of.
He's like kind of like a mini LeBron a little bit.
Honestly, yeah, but he's bigger than LeBron probably, right? But like, well, obviously skill wise, we're not going to compare him.
Yeah,
But
but like same type of body.
same type of like fluidity for a big guy. That's good. That's gonna be fun to watch.
Yeah, you definitely can't like switch guards onto them, especially like, you know, so you run like a
Mm,
Fultz Paolo pick and roll, or even a Suggs Paolo.
mm,
There's plenty of guys that I think he will mesh well with.
yeah, and then Paolo's still like, besides him, I really like his game overall, because he kind of plays like a small forward, but then he also has like a really nice mid post game. Like that's a lot of big men like don't really do in this modern NBA too much, but like his mid post game is good. He's got like nice footwork, can hit like fadeaways in the mid post.
Yeah, I mean, like, is going back to like the mismatches. Like I think he'll definitely have a lot of mismatches, especially with either like really big guys or small guys. Even
Mm-hmm.
obviously guys his size that can't move their feet as well, like you said. But I think
Mm-hmm.
obviously we were 30th in offense this past season, 17th in
Oh yeah.
defense. So like we're obviously like wanting a more offensive guy.
Mm-hmm. I think that's probably a big factor of, I guess, the how the draft went this year. I guess they're probably leaning, I guess, for that offensive guy because they do value their defense, but our defense was already like pretty good, especially I think after the All Star break. I think we're one of the top defenses after that All Star break. So like that's why I started talking to myself. I'm like, okay, they'll go with Jabari. They'll add a guy who's also a really good perimeter defender. Plus, he'll add shooting. But then, like again, like you gotta go best player available, and I think Paolo has the highest upside on at least on the offensive side of the ball of the three.
And he might be the best right now because like you said, like his ball handling, his ability to punish like switches.
Mm.
He can shoot mid range at least. I think he shot like 50% actually from three in the tournament. So I mean that's a
Yeah,
big sign.
in the NCAA tournament, he was hot. Yeah, I think he was shooting over 50% on three. He did have, I think, a cold stretch before that, which did lower his percentage, so it could have at least been higher than his. I think he shot 34%. It probably could have been a little higher than that overall, but and that's a good sign though in the NCAA tournament. Under pressure, he played pretty good for his team.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely looked like the best guy, and like in a lot of games, even I remember him having a game versus Gonzaga. He was going right at Chet. He was going right at whoever's guarding him because, he really believes that nobody can really stay in front of him with his, his body.
I've seen a few of his highlights versus Gonzaga. He hit like a couple of threes like back to back like in transition, and then he had like an and one on Chet, which I think Chet got in foul trouble that game because of, I guess, he couldn't handle the physicality of like Paolo was bringing. So that's gonna be huge for him in the NBA.
Yeah. And just going to his defensive side, I mean, like we said, he's 6'10" with like a 7 foot wingspan. So I feel like he can still improve on that side. Maybe he didn't, buy in as much on that side of the ball, but I feel like he definitely has the skills and the tools and the body.
Yeah, I think he's definitely gonna handle, especially. I think he's gonna handle a lot of the bigger like power forwards well because like of the way he moves at his size, he'll be able to keep up with the slower, bigger forwards. And then with the smaller, faster ones, he still has good, I think, lateral movement. He can keep up with them. I think it's more for him. It's gonna be a lot. It's just gonna be more of the effort plays. Because maybe at Duke, he was the number one like offensive guy there. That probably took a lot of energy and maybe that wasn't his focus. Even though he did show some signs, of defense. But I think especially playing on the Magic, where especially like Coach Jamal Mosley, he has the ring and the bell plays, with the hustle plays on all that. So I think playing with other guys on the team who actually want to play defense maybe will hopefully motivate him to become at least an average defender, if not above average. That's
Yeah.
huge.
I think he can play with the we mentioned like the guards and the forwards he can play with. I think he fits better next to like Bamba also because like they can both, play inside out.
Yeah, I think our the floor is going to be stretched out good for us this next season. Bringing in another guy who can shoot. Um, we did play a lot of Wendell Carter and Bamba last season, but I'm guessing. Well, we kind of had Bamba. I think we had Bamba at the forward spot and Wendell playing more center.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
I'm
don't think we'll see
guessing.
that as much next season.
Yeah, I think so. Either Bamba's going to have probably either come off the bench or he's a free agent, I think, right? Restricted free agent. So I feel like the Magic are probably gonna let him walk just to keep cap space, but that's gonna be interesting because I mean I would love to have Bamba as a backup center, but I wouldn't want to pay him too much as a backup center, if he's not gonna be
Yeah.
still in that starter role. And we have options. We can re-sign Robin Lopez or have like Mo Wagner running the backup center, and yeah,
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like we never really saw like the full team last season just because Fultz didn't come back till like April or March,
yeah.
and then I think Suggs was out when he came back, so we never really saw them play together at all.
Mm-hmm. I think going forward, if the team is trying to push for playoffs this next season, or at least the play-in tournament, we're gonna have to see probably like big improvements from, I would say, Suggs first of all. his shooting obviously wasn't as expected as last season. I think Franz is probably gonna, just probably have a big like sophomore jump. He already had a really good rookie season, and I think him playing with Paolo is gonna relieve a lot of pressure off of him, and give him easier shots, more opportunities, and then the lineup's just gonna be fun. I think everyone's just gonna be passing the ball and it's gonna be like easy shots.
Yeah. I think especially I don't know if how much they probably won't play 3 guards, but they'll probably definitely play 2 out of the 3 guards most of the time.
Yeah. I kind of want Cole Anthony to be, because Cole Anthony, I feel like was the most kind of inconsistent on offense, like he'd be kind of streaky, like he'd have his good games and then not. So I feel like if he is willing to take like a 6-man role for us, I think he'd be really good off the bench running the second unit. I feel like our team has some good depth this coming year without injuries, because we could have Cole running the point. I don't know, shooting guard, if we resign, I think Gary Harris or Terrence Ross running them in the shooting, one of those two on the shooting guard spot. Then we still have Okiki and Isaac. Hopefully Isaac, we'll see. He hasn't played in like 2 years, but like Okiki and Isaac, that's going to be an elite defensive bench unit right there, along with whoever we put at center, whether it be like Mo Wagner or Robin Lopez.
Yeah, and they drafted a guy in Caleb Houston. He's a pretty solid 3-and-D guy. I think that's like another like I don't know. I guess Okiki replacement, because Okiki has looked a little bit, obviously if coming back from injury, he hasn't looked the best, but I don't know. That's just another like 3-and-D guy. So I feel like as the playoffs just showed us, you can't really have enough of those guys.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised we kept the pick, because the Magic usually trade away all their second picks usually for like cash. But I don't know too much about him. I do know he's from Michigan, right? And so we have another Michigan guy coming onto the team, and I think he was a little lower on the 3-point shot, but he did shoot a high volume, which is good. And then I feel like just having the spacing of the NBA, he'll probably be able to knock down a lot more. And then, as you said, good defense. I think he has good length. He's like 6'8", so I think he'll be pretty versatile, especially coming off the bench.
Yeah, I think Michigan. I mean, the Magic just trust like the guys from Michigan, I guess. With
Yeah,
Franz Wagner.
they hit hard with Franz Wagner, so like they must have seen something in that. And I wasn't high on Franz at all coming into last season, but then he really surprised a lot of people with like he has like a high basketball IQ, which I think is another thing that Paolo also has. So like I feel like our starting lineup's gonna have like really high level players. Markel has a high basketball IQ along with Franz. Paolo, like I feel like it's just gonna be like great basketball like ball movement. You know how when you like imagine like how the Spurs usually play, like I feel like it's gonna be more like that.
Okay, we'll see how much Mosley can persuade these guys to keep keep the ball moving.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to say was like the last 5 or 6 number 1 picks. I wanted to get your opinion on where you would slot Paolo into these number 1 picks. So just going back like the last like 7 years, 7-8 years,
okay.
just like the whole NBA, like the number 1 overall pick.
Okay.
So I don't know where you want to start. Wiggins.
Oh, you want to just give me a list and then we'll go through with that?
Yeah. So we got let's start with, I guess. Okay, so post Anthony Davis, because Anthony Davis was like the consensus like number 1 guy in like 2012. So
yeah,
the last like basically 9 years was Anthony Bennett,
okay.
Andrew Wiggins.
I already got Anthony Bennett last.
Okay.
Last.
Andrew Wiggins,
okay.
Karl Towns, Ben Simmons, Fultz, Ayton, Zion, Anthony Edwards, Cade Cunningham, and Paolo Banchero. So I guess we'll start with Anthony Bennett. So obviously Anthony Bennett's
Bennett,
last.
I think he's gonna be dead last. I mean, some people would argue putting Markel down there, but like I still feel like there's a lot of untapped potential with Markel. Especially coming off like injury and stuff. We'll see how he plays. Hopefully, a full healthy season next year.
At least Markel is still in the NBA.
Yeah, that's true. That is also true. Yeah, we'll put Bennett, slot him at the bottom.
All right. And next up, Wiggins.
Wiggins is probably gonna. He'll probably be near the bottom also, just because the rest of the talent is kind of up there. We got Susap, Karl Towns.
Yeah. So you would put Paolo above him, obviously.
Yeah, we're gonna about Wiggins. Yeah. I think for sure. I mean, we haven't seen him play yet, but I think Wiggins is gonna be at this moment. Wiggins is gonna be right on top of Anthony Bennett.
All right.
That's what we're gonna do.
And then Carl Towns.
Carl Towns.
I guess this is 1, 2, 3,
I'm gonna put
4, 5,
Carl.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So
I'm gonna put him at for now the 2 spot. I'm gonna put him second.
okay. Simmons.
Yeah. Simmons.
I don't know if you saw like Perkins was saying like
Mm.
Paolo reminds him of Simmons. Simmons obviously with a little bit more offensive. He said Simmons with mixed
Yeah.
with like Michael Beasley or something.
Yeah, I can see a little bit of Simmons, especially like the size and the ball handling, in the basketball IQ. I'll put him on. Simmons definitely has better defense, but then Paolo's got better shooting for sure. I'll put Simmons third on that list for now. We'll put Simmons after Cat.
Then Fultz.
Fultz, well, for now I'll put Fultz above Wiggins. So we got Fultz, Wiggins, and then we got a Bennett at the bottom. That's what I'm going with. I'm high on Fultz. I know a lot of people are gonna put Wiggins above him, but like,
Did you watch the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, he's playing with some stars though, so he's got some leeway to play. I mean, his defense is up there, but I want to say this next season, Fultz is going to surprise a lot of people. I'm hoping. I feel like if he's healthy, I want to see him push for like a most improved player type thing.
Yeah.
He played really well at the end of last season. I don't remember the exact stats. I think he was barely averaging around like 20 minutes, but I think he was pushing like 9 assists a game and like maybe 15 points, something like that. I might be wrong, but he was putting out some really good numbers.
Yeah, he was actually averaging like what is it? Let's see. Yeah, 10 points, 5.5 assists.
That was limited minutes, right?
3 rebounds. Yeah, only 20 minutes. So
only 20 minutes. Yeah,
and he only
maybe
started 3 games.
36 minutes. It might have been for 36 minutes.
Yeah, and he only started 3 out of 18 games, so he was coming off the bench.
I think there's still a lot of untapped potential. He is only 24, I think, years old, so he's still like young. He got drafted, I think, at 18 or 19. I forget. It might have been like early 19.
And then DeAndre Ayton.
Ayton, I'll put him probably at like 6. So probably like in the middle, honestly, of all those picks. We'll put him in like the middle.
You like Towns over Ayton?
Yeah, I think for sure. I'm gonna put Towns over Ayton. I mean, yeah, Ayton did get to the finals the year before, and then obviously on a really good Suns team. But I really don't think Ayton is that guy. He reminds me a lot, honestly, of Nikola Vucevic, kind of like putting up like 2010 numbers, but not having a huge impact on the team. Vucevic is a better passer, and they probably both are similarly defensively. Ayton's not even that great a defender. And then we got Karl-Anthony Towns, the reigning 3-point champ, Ayton also not that great of a 3-point shooter, actually.
All right. Next up, we got Zion.
Zion.
Were you a big Zion fan after his first year?
Yeah, I was. He was putting up big numbers. I think I don't know. He's averaging like 25 points or something. I don't know exactly what he was averaging.
I think he was an all-star actually the first year.
Was he? See, okay, so Zion is up there, but because of his like injury history and him not playing, I'm gonna put him behind Karl-Anthony Towns. Or no. We're gonna go Karl-Anthony Towns second, then we're gonna put Zion, then we're gonna put Ben Simmons after is what I'm gonna do it. Because Ben Simmons also doesn't play at all, Otherwise he could have a great career.
Probably 8 and then Simmons.
8 and then Simmons. Yeah. That's how.
And then Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards, at this point I want to put him. I'm gonna shift the spot down. Karl-Anthony Towns to 3, and the rest down. And I'm gonna play Anthony Edwards above Cat, honestly, because honestly the Timberwolves are Anthony Edwards' team now. Yeah. At this point, I feel like he's kind of that guy, and in the clutch moments, he's kind of been showing up and putting up points.
So Cade, you got him number 1?
I want to put Cade at number 1. Yeah, I mean he's only played 1 season, but he's already shown a lot of what he can do. Reminds me a lot of like players like Luka or LeBron. Like a bit. I don't know how tall Cade is. 6'6", 6'7". Big guy who can run the offense, pass, shoot, good defender, everything. Just everything.
And then we
I
got
want to put him
Paolo.
at number one. Paolo, ooh, is this for like? So this is gonna be obviously his trajectory, like for his career.
Yeah, like where would you project him? Like I would say like
Mm,
Anthony Edwards and like Cade Cunningham, and even like Zion if he's healthy. Those are like superstars.
yeah,
I
yeah,
would
yeah.
say Towns, Aiton, and
The next tier,
yeah, the next tier probably like borderline all stars. Towns probably a little bit better, and then
Paolo.
the next tier is probably Simmons if he plays,
Now
borderline all star when he plays, and then
then we got the
Fultz.
Anthony Bennett tier.
Yeah, then we got Fultz and Bennett.
Yeah, we kind of have to lump them together at this point.
Maybe
I think
Fultz
he'll
is in
jump
that
out of it
Simmons
though.
tier. Maybe Fultz is in that Simmons tier next year.
Well, yeah, I'm a really a big Fultz believer, bro. Like his mid range game is clean. He's a really good finisher at the rim. I think he shot like something ridiculous for a guard at the rim. Um, he's got size. He can defend. I think his main goal, stay healthy, and I think he'll be good.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, since he's come to Orlando, he's shown that he's kept improving his game and that he's gotten better. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Paolo, I want to put him in like a tier above Cat and below the Anthony Edwards tier. I want to put him in the middle because like I think he's gonna be really good, and then he'll have to kind of prove his superstardom, because honestly, until the season starts, I'm not gonna know what tier he's gonna be in. So like I'll put him like up there because I think he really has that potential, and I think especially with the Magic, he'll be able to showcase his abilities a lot this year, and like probably like obviously be in the running probably for rookie of the year with the amount of like usage rate he's probably gonna have. Um, I want to put him in the tier above Karl-Anthony Towns and them where he could be like a superstar.
okay, yeah, that's
Yeah,
fair. That's fair expectations. You could have put him
yeah,
number one if you wanted.
yeah. I mean, I am the number one Magic fan, but I'm also honest with myself at times. So we'll put him there. But after next season, I might have to put him number one.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Next question is, I guess, like what's your favorite lineup? Doesn't have to be like the starting lineup. Like what's the lineup that you want to see next year? Even if
A
it's just for
fun
like five
lineup.
minutes.
Okay, I got you. Okay, I definitely want. Okay, I'll probably have honestly in all my fun lineups. I'm gonna have Markel running the point. Honestly, he's probably like one of my favorite on the team. I'm gonna have a lineup of Markel. Uh, okay, this lineup's gonna be elite. It's gonna be Markel. It's gonna be Franz shooting guard. We're gonna have Paolo, Jonathan Isaac, and Wendell Carter. That's gonna be a lineup. Yeah, and maybe
That's a
that
big,
lineup
very big lineup.
it's gonna be a big lineup, but we got our defenders. I think hopefully our big guys will be fast enough on the perimeter to guard some guys or create mismatches on the offense. And if I want to go bigger, I might actually sub out Wendell and put Bobo in at the center spot. I kind of forgot we had him for a second. I really want to see him play this year. Actually, we'll put
I,
Bobo at center.
I'm guessing he's gonna be spending some time in Lakeland.
Is he still coming off injury? I don't know exactly what was going on with him when he got traded from the Nuggets.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's
Might
still
be in
injured.
rehab. Okay, yeah. I'm really I mean I'm glad that we took a chance on Bobo. Nothing really to lose there. Because like honestly, like watching his like Oregon tape, like he was nasty. In like the I think 9 games that he played over there. He's averaging like 20 and 10, shooting like 50% from three. I want to see him like get some minutes in the NBA, healthy.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I guess next question: do you think Suggs should play summer league?
For sure. As long I think he did have a surgery early on in the beginning of the summer, like right when the off season happened. I think he had a foot surgery or ankle surgery, I think it was. I think he really needs it, honestly. More so, not. I mean, it's not the best practice. It's just a few games, but I think more so of like a confidence booster going into the next season. He obviously knows probably that he didn't shoot that well coming in, especially as a was he the fifth pick? I think the fifth, right? Or do we
I
have the
think
fifth or
fourth,
sixth pick? Fourth?
fourth, right?
Uh, yeah, it's a fourth. The Raptor Scotty. I think it's gonna be the big thing for him. It's gonna be a confidence booster. It's gonna you're gonna see showcase his abilities and hopefully he's improved his shooting.
Obviously, France. You think he should probably skip it?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. If especially with the Magic's injury history, you don't want to throw Franz in some meaningless games. I think he'd kill it in the summer league for us. Get us that little summer league championship maybe. But I think it would be pointless for him. Honestly, he's
I
already
could, I
like
could
locked
see
in
him.
at the starting.
I could see him playing like 1 or 2 games and then being like, "Yeah, I'm averaging like 20 points a game."
I'm honestly down to see him play the first game just so I can see how he looks like with Paolo, because Paolo will probably play in the summer league. So I want to see him how the fit would work with him in the first game. But then after that first game, just take him out and just let him work on himself and stay healthy. He did play like 80, close to 80 games I think last season. So he was like probably the healthiest Magic player. I think he started in the most games for us.
Yeah, he actually he started all 79 games that he played.
79 games. There you go. Like he, thank God, has a real clean injury history so far.
Yeah, the next closest was Cole with 65. So, I mean that just shows we need to
That's a big
you know
difference.
make our players available.
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, I wouldn't mind if Cole Anthony played in the summer league a little bit, like get some rest in. I need to see a huge improvement from him, especially if he wants to keep his like starting spot maybe next to Markel. I think
I remember last
he
year he was just jacking threes like all over the place.
yeah, like the first half of the season, he first half of the season he was pretty hot. He was shooting like it was like a jump from his first year percentages, but then still ended up last year shooting I think maybe 40% from the field. Like his shot percentage went down a lot. He just needs to work on I think some consistency and like playing within himself, instead of chucking up shots.
Yeah, especially when you got Wagner, Carter, and now Banchero on your team now. The ball, I feel like the shots should be like pretty distributed, between 4 or 5
Yeah,
guys this year.
that's one thing. Having the added offensive talent that we're gonna have, I think it's gonna make things easier for Cole and just hopefully make him smarter decision making, shot making.
Yep, I think that's good for. Oh, I guess the last thing was like, do you have any comps for Paolo right now?
I want to compare him to, I want to say a cross between like a Julius Randle and kind of like a Carmelo Anthony. I want to say. I think that's what it's gonna be. Um, Julius Randle, I think he's a bit more fluid than Julius Randle. But I think pretty
Randall's
similar.
shot in the beginning was pretty bad, so like Banchero definitely has a head start on his jump shot.
Yeah, Randle has improved it a lot, but yeah, I'm hoping Paolo will actually be like a solid, hopefully above average NBA 3-point shooter with time. But I think his basketball IQ is really up there. And then
Yeah,
kind of his shot making ability kind of reminds me more of Carmelo, but obviously not as good as 3-point shooter, but more of his like mid post game.
that's true. He's bringing back the mid range.
Yeah.
But I wanted to see like Julius Randle's stats. I mean, last year when he was an All Star, he had really good stats. He had, let's see,
Mhm.
so 23 points, 9.8 rebounds, 10 rebounds, 5.8 assists, about a steal, and 41% from three. So that's a really good season, I think.
I could, yeah. Obviously, I don't think in the first year, but I think in a few seasons, I think Paolo could put up numbers like that. But hopefully, more in a more meaningful impact. Hopefully, will be like a high playoff team in a few years.
Yeah, I mean that was probably Randall's best year, and like the shooting is obviously the most important like factor for I think his
Mm-hmm.
best season. But like I
Yeah,
said before, Paolo definitely has a head start in the jump shooting area.
yeah, and he definitely has like a really similar body type to Julius Randle. Probably a little taller than Julius Randle, but they both are pretty like heavier guys. But then they both can move pretty fluid, so it kind of reminds me a lot of them.
Might see some bully ball, a lot of like like arm flexing.
Yeah, I want to see Paolo flex on, bro. We need to put the magic out there, bro. We've been, no one's been talking about us for the past few years until we got the number one pick, So like, hopefully we can make some noise finally.
Yeah, definitely shoot up the league pass rankings and become at least a fun team, at least in the first season.
For sure. Like I think that's the main thing coming to next season. I think we're gonna be a lot more fun to watch, especially as coming in being like one of the league's worst offenses. I think bringing in Paolo and then having Franz grow and all that is gonna really boost our offense a lot. We'll see how our defense looks like with this lineup, but I feel like we're at least gonna be fun to watch now and probably a lot more competitive.
Summer League, I think, starts like in 2 weeks or maybe 10 days.
Yeah, a couple weeks. I wanted to pull up for summer league in Orlando. That would have been fun to watch, but I do got work starting that week, and then I think Eid that weekend too. So we're
But
gonna be busy with
that
that.
first game against Houston will be fun though. Maybe
Oh, freaking
we might,
Houston!
yeah, first game is actually, I think it's July 7th. Again, it's against Houston.
Oh,
Might have to
that's
record after that one.
that's gonna be spicy. We're gonna have the Jabari versus Paolo recap.
Yeah.
Okay, there's gonna be a lot of shit talking after that game from Magic and Houston fans.
It'll be the most interest like in a summer league game probably in a couple years.
Yeah, for sure, probably.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you for joining me. Glad to have another Magic fan back on, another
Hey,
or somebody who supports Orlando Magic. But
thanks for having me, bro. I always love talking about the Magic. I'll always be here for them.
all right, we'll see you next time. See you.